Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Leah. I play with fiber, here to bring you a video talking about tools. Yes, tools that I like to use, but tools that have been gifted to me. Yay! I've been gifted these tools to help create more video content for knit, crochet, and other various fiber arts by my lovely friends at Clover Needlecrafts. So really quickly, the box is already open. I've already used some of the stuff in the box. That's where you see it might not look the way that you would think that it would look in the package. Just giving you a heads up now. I'll open the box. I need these things, so I've been using these things, okay? So most of it is crochet hooks, and really quickly, let's see if I can find it. Yep, I just used it on a scarf that I'm making a video for that you guys will see later on. They have these awesome ergonomic hooks. They come in packages like this, the Amore crochet hook. These hooks are like perfectly lightweight. The grip is spectacular, and I've been using these hooks for over a year now, and to now have almost a complete set of all of the hooks in various sizes that I need is like an amazing blessing. You guys have no idea. So thank you, Clover. Seriously, I can't thank you enough for these tools to help me expand and grow. Now, what I will get into really quickly, these scissors. If you're a fiber artist, you already know how important a good pair of scissors are. These right here, the Bardot. I got 6 3/4 inches. Can you hear that? You know, when you can hear that slice, it's a nice pair of scissors. And when it comes with its own sheath, you already know it's real. Okay, so these I cannot wait to use. I will most likely keep those to my sewing projects. Here's a whip right here, because there's nothing worse than a dull pair of scissors. My favorite thing, and something that I've needed for a very long time, is a gauge ruler. So this is for my swatches. It gives me my 4x4 or 10x10 if you're on the metric. Is it metric? Yeah, and imperial is inches. Correct me. So you've got imperial and metric system on this swatch. Well, ruler square. And then for hooks or needles, really, you've got the holes cut out. So if you, for whatever reason, don't have like the size of your notion or hooks printed on what you're using, you can just stick it through the hole and engage what you could be working with. So I love that. And there are more gauges for hooks and needles on the smaller square. So yeah, there's that. This is a blessing. You have no idea. I hate having to like use tape measures or rulers, anything other than just looking at a straight up square that I can lay this on my project and see how many stitches and how many rows I'm working with. So I'm really happy that I got this. Another thing, my kids, I'm sure you can hear. Hey, kid. Levi! Levi! Okay, hopefully they're quiet for a little bit longer. This, if you can see it up close, this is an extra long. Levi! Hold on just a second. Kids. All right, so this right here, what I was talking about earlier, this is, or not talking about, I hadn't even gotten into it. This is an extra long threader for anybody who does punch needle embroidery or, well, it's all punch needle. But if you do the embroidery where it's smaller and you use like, let's say a Lavore needle, or the Clover punch needle, what's actually an embroidery stitching tool to do that type of punch needle or stitching embroidery, these long threaders are essential. You just need them. They make threading your needles, your hollow needles, extremely easy, and I needed more of these. So to have 2, can't go wrong with that. I will definitely be keeping one in a project bag one in all of my tools. If you can't tell, this is my handy dandy workspace where I keep everything as organized as possible. So that's that. And last but not least, I have so many more hooks in there, but I'm not going to go over each size. They're all essentially the same thing, just different size hooks. The piece de resistance, I have the interchangeable needle set. If you know me, your girl loves wood accessories. I love wood hooks. I love wood needles. I use more plastic and metal hooks because they're readily available in ergonomic style handles than wood, because typically wood has a wider handle anyways. Sometimes they have narrow handles, but when it comes to crochet hooks, I prefer ergonomic hook. When it comes to the needles, because I've only been knitting for almost 2 years now, I prefer wood needles, and these are bamboo needles, which actually makes them grass. But anyways, you know my point here. You've got a set from, I believe it goes from 3.5 to 10. I should have checked before I started doing this. Oh, and I've got this thing blocking my... Yep, I was right. All right, so these go from a 3.5 millimeter to a 10 millimeter. They come with this lovely case so you can keep all of your sets together, and it comes with 5 interchangeable cords. Their cords are my absolute favorite interchangeable cords because, let me pull one out so you can see these little screw ends, which is really tiny. I know that's not going to focus, but these little screw ends, they lock, and I mean lock, onto the needles, because the needles have a tiny little washer on the ends that pretty much ensures that your needle is going to lock into place, and you don't have to worry about the needle coming loose or just untwisting itself while you're working. It just makes it a more pleasant experience while you're knitting. If you're newer to knitting, or if you just have a preference for circular needles over straight needles. I used to think that I would never use circular needles, and now I almost never use straight needles. I think the weight distribution with having the cords, the stitches relax on the cords, it's just better for my wrists. And because I'm constantly stitching on something, I need anything that will help relieve any type of tension or pressure on my wrist. So this set is literally thebomb.com. It's my favorite. I've had a few of these cables and a few of the interchangeable needles separately, but to have them all together and just at my disposal, so happy. And they have a case. If you can get a case for your tools, or if you need to make a case for your tools, I would consider doing that, because having everything together like this, just convenience. You know, I work smarter, not harder, if you can, and having a tool set is definitely a way to work smarter and to be more organized, which I high key for the stuff that you can't see needs to be way more organized. But for now, it is what it is. We're good to go. I don't know if you can see these or not, but these are also another, just because we're talking about tools, and they're Clover stitch markers. They look like little clothespins or like safety pins, but they're plastic and they're quick snap and release. These are my favorite stitch markers. I do have some other stitch markers that are metal and coated. I like them, but because they are coated, they slip around a lot, so they're not typically my favorite to use. Sometimes I don't mind them with knitting, but these work really well for knit or crochet. And if you get the case, like this little set, you've got 4 different sizes and they're color coded by size. So you really can do a bunch of projects with these, or use them all in one project and have a different color code to mark a different stitch or a different place in your project. Either way, these are another win for me. I already had those. I got those, I think, sometimes last year, and Clover was nice enough to send them to me then. I've worked with Clover a few times. This is technically this video isn't sponsored, but the tools are sponsored for up and coming content that I have. So I've worked with Clover a few times. I do have a few free projects on their blog. I probably should have had those with me. Don't judge me. But if you go to the Clover blog, you can look up the Ursa Major wall hanging project. You can also look up the Wee Little Cloud stitch embroidery project. And I also have the Moss Across pillow, which is a pillow cover project. It is a crochet project. So you've got crochet, wall hanging, and punch needle embroidery. Got those 3 projects on their blog right now that you can go check those out. I'll link them below if you're interested in figuring out what those are. All the tools that I use are mentioned. All the materials that you're going to need to make those projects is linked in the blog post as well. And that is all I have for you for right now with these tools. Again, thank you, Clover, for these tools because you're helping your girl grow and I really appreciate it. You know, the glow up is real around here. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about these tools or any experience with them, please share them with me in the comments and let me know what you're working on. If you're working on any projects or if you have any dream projects you haven't started yet because analysis paralysis or anything else that you'd like to see from me. I do have more videos coming for tutorials. I know that the few tutorials that I have right now are not as beginner friendly, or they may not be as beginner friendly as I thought they were. So I'm definitely going to revisit some things and go over some basic stitches, more introductory into crochet, and then build on the library of stitches that I can help you learn, things that you can do with them, and helping you grow in fiber artistry the way that I've been growing over the past few years. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I love you guys. Peace.